Hello, you're watching my YouTube channel. I am your host, Kamran Arshad. Today, I have invited a guest in this vlog, and I am going to discuss her life, her visions, her goals, and most importantly, her field. Hi, and welcome. We are delighted to have Malaika Moise here today with us. Malaika, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome, Kamran. It's a pleasure to be here at your podcast.
Thank you. And but to kick off, could you please tell us what inspired you to pursue a career as ADR practitioner, certified mediation advocate, public speaking, and legal counsel and advisor as well? And definitely, perhaps share a bit about your journey, which helps you leading up to your current role.
Sure, I'm happy to share that. Thank you so much for your question and for this personal insight. So basically, I come from a family where we have seen a lot of legal issues arise,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that has been my inspiration to join a career which can give me a sense of security,
Hmm.
and that can also allow me to be in a confident position that can allow me to help other people who are facing similar issues.
Hmm.
And how I got into ADR and mediation is because I found when I got into this legal studies and everything, I came across this concept of ADR, and I was very intrigued by this, to be honest.
Hmm.
I never knew what ADR was, and while I was going through my education, I found this, and I found it to be a tool which is not just for legal restoration, but it can also serve as a tool for social restoration.
Hmm.
Why do I say that is because ADR, alternative dispute resolution mechanism,
Hmm.
is a mechanism available to people to resolve their disputes out of court,
Hmm.
which allows them to explore creative solutions for themselves, solutions that would be beneficial for them, that are tailored for their own problems. And I then got certified as a
Hmm.
mediation advocate to be able to represent my clients efficiently in a mediation or a legal proceeding,
Hmm.
just so that I have the expertise to
Hmm.
help somebody
Hmm.
in their problem. So that's how it all turned out.
Okay. Could you please share us that moment when you realized
And I
that
think you
you,
also mentioned public speaking.
yeah, would you like to share about the public speaking?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a problem with the voice. But just to complete your question, with public speaking, I think I find it in me that if I have certain knowledge, I take the pleasure in help them in knowing what their rights, what their obligations, what their options are if they're facing a certain issue. So that's how I got into public speaking as well.
I want to know the moment when you realize that Malaika Mois are gonna do this in the life. When you find yourself.
When I found myself, I think this was back in the day when I was during my studies in the mid of them, PR competition.
Hmm.
And that instant when I participated and when I got into that, I was like, okay, this is meant for me. Because when I got into the legal practice, when I got into the legal studies,
Hmm.
I saw the legal world in Pakistan. And to be very honest, I was very overwhelmed by that. I was a
Hmm.
little overwhelmed by the practices and everything. So I wanted a
Hmm.
career which could help the people, actually help the people, and which could be a decent environment. And that's when I thought that, okay, I think ADR is a field that can best suit me and my desired career goals.
Hmm. And these professions for the female, especially the female living in Pakistan, are very difficult for them, right? Why did you, being a female, choose these profession to go ahead and to do the things with great zeal?
I think that's the challenge. And I wouldn't
Hmm.
say that it's difficult for women.
Hmm.
I would say that it is male dominated. Why? Because a lot of females and a lot of people think the same way as I think you just asked that, oh, it's such a difficult profession. Why
Hmm.
should we go in that? And
Yeah.
that's the fun about it. Who wants to do something that's easy? It should have a certain challenge to it. It should have a certain kick and a fun to it. So yeah, definitely. I was at first, as I mentioned, I was overwhelmed by the procedures and everything.
Hmm.
But that's how it happens. A coal mine will always have a diamond out of it. So why
Hmm.
not?
It means you like challenges in the life, so that's why you take it as a challenge, and you have done that.
Yeah, I think that's one way to put it.
Hmm. All right, let's move on. Malaika, how do you approach resolving disputes through ADR methods? Can you share a specific case where your mediation skills led to be a successful resolution?
Sure. Okay. First of all, if you don't mind, I would like to give a little bit of an introduction of what ADR is,
Hmm.
and then I would say how I approach that.
Hmm.
So basically, because this is a platform which is available to the lay people, to the public of Pakistan. That is why I would utilize this platform to make people aware of what basically ADR is.
Yeah.
So ADR stands for Alternative Dispute Resolution Mechanisms.
Oh, alternative
That is
resolution disputes. Disputes
dispute
resolution,
resolution
sorry.
mechanism.
Okay, I actually got the idea right now. This is the most important thing in the life. If someone knows
Yes.
about these strategies, how to handle the disputes, how to handle the stress and anxiety, then he or she can be successful in the life. Anyway, go ahead.
Exactly. You've actually highlighted a very important point, which is very important for the people of our country. A lot of people don't know if they have a dispute, what will be the best way to approach that? What will be the best way to resolve that dispute? So those people need to be aware of the mechanisms that are available to them, that are at their disposal.
Hmm.
So ADR is basically alternative dispute resolution mechanism, which is out of court settlement. You
Hmm.
don't have to go through litigation to have your dispute resolved. I
Hmm.
personally have motivated a lot of people who come to me with a family dispute to go through ADR. Now, family disputes are basically the disputes of divorce, of khula, and all these cases that we see a lot happening in Pakistan. And this forms the bulk of the cases in the courts as well. We hear a lot of people saying that the judiciary is very overburdened and they have a lot of cases to resolve. There's a lot going on. They don't have the time to resolve so many disputes. Along with that, what is happening is that our population, the people of our country, due to the delay in the justice system without fault of the judiciary and the legal system,
Hmm.
what is happening is that the people are getting frustrated.
Hmm.
They are losing the trust, they are losing the faith in their judicial system, in their legal system,
Hmm.
which is causing a lot of social frustration as well.
Hmm.
Why don't we see this kind of social frustration in the Western world? Why don't
Hmm.
we see that? It's because they know if they have a problem, they'll go to the courts and they'll have it resolved,
And they are well
right?
groomed as
Or
well. We have a lack of grooming as well
exactly.
in a we have a lack of grooming as well because when we see, I have seen a lot of people, and they are much qualified people that she or she has done PhD in different subject. But when he speaks, so I was thinking that why he's speaking. I mean, he doesn't know how to speak, even though he has a degree in
Exactly.
PhD, he's a doctor. But the point is that
There is a difference between
we
being
are well
educated and literate.
informed, we are well informed, but unfortunately we are not well groomed. It's my opinion. I
Exactly.
don't know, will you agree on it or not?
I think I would agree to a certain extent because it's not about the education. Again, it is about the fact that how you utilize that education. You
Hmm.
can have a lot of degrees and everything, but if you don't know how to actually execute that, how to use that, it's no use.
Hmm.
So you have to groom yourself along the way. And what I think is a problem with the population of Pakistan, people in Pakistan, I really don't want to defame my country. I love everyone here, but there are certain issues which are leading to a lot of frustration in the country, and that is because they're not interested to know. what happens is they go to the lawyers, they go to the doctor, and they're just like, we have this issue, just solve it for us. And they're
Yes.
like, just solve it for us. The thing is, they
Yeah.
don't want to learn. And then the people who actually want to learn, they cannot find a platform to learn that. So
And they
I
try to
think
tell us
being
that please adjust with the system. No one can change the
exactly,
system, so adjust yourself. This is the most, this is the worst thing they say to the people of Pakistan or anywhere, that you need to adjust with that. Why?
exactly. What is
Why?
the system?
One
It's
is your
us. We are
opinion,
the
other one
system.
is my opinion. If I am able to
Exactly.
convince you with my opinion, then it's good. But if you're not agree with my opinion, I have to give you a liberty, I have to give you a space that you are with your opinion and I am with my opinion. But you are saying, the people are saying, uh, the lead of the country are saying, you have to adjust with the system because it is the system, it cannot change. Why?
Exactly.
Then what we are doing in this country?
Exactly.
That's why I
So
made
it
this
is a
YouTube channel to
responsibility.
highlight those issues for those people who can watch this video or listen this interview podcast. Might be they will get some strategies to change their life.
Completely.
Yeah.
I think this is a very amazing platform, and this is why I want to use this to make people aware that they can have their disputes resolved in certain ways which they actually want. The resolution can be according to what they want. So
Hmm.
ADR is a very creative dispute resolution mechanism where you can go in, and if you're aware about it, and if your lawyer is honest with you, they would guide you through the process and they will tell you what is. Don't smile like that. There are honest lawyers. There are honest
Why? Okay,
lawyers.
why I'm smiling? Because if your lawyer are very loyal with you, okay, carry on.
Yes, but I think yes, that is another. I think that is a totally separate topic, and we can have another podcast on that
Yeah,
topic. But if
inshallah.
your lawyer, yeah, if your lawyer is honest with their work and
Hmm.
they want to actually help you with it, they will guide you
Hmm.
through the process.
Hmm.
This is a
Hmm.
practice that I personally follow. When
Hmm.
somebody comes to me with a dispute, I think I would be answering the second part of your question now, that how do I approach it and cases regarding this thing.
Hmm.
So what happens is a lot of people, they will come to you with a problem, right?
Hmm.
They'll just come to you with a claim, right?
Hmm.
That is going to be their claim that, okay, I want divorce. Or let's say if it's a commercial dispute, they will say that we just want our money back, we want to be compensated.
Hmm.
But what happens is that that is only their claim. Being a lawyer, being a
Hmm.
mediation advocate, what you have to do is you have to find the underlying interest. What is the underlying interest? That is the
Hmm.
basically desired outcome that you want.
Hmm.
What is the interest? It is the backlog of what you are seeking. Claim is
Hmm.
just something that they will come to you and say that, okay, this is something that we want. That's it.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
being an advocate, you have to build a rapport with your client. And that
Hmm.
is how I approach people with ADR. So, firstly, the first thing that I would do is that I would encourage them to focus on the interests. What is your interest? You're coming to me with a khula case, and I will say, okay, fine, I'll go to the court tomorrow, file your petition, and you'll have a khula in a few months, right?
Degree. Yeah.
What what I would do that in that case would be I will ask them, why do you want this khula? Why is it that you are seeking this thing? A lot of times it has happened that people have come in to seek a divorce, and when they sit down at the mediation table across one another, they just take their claims back. They don't even
Hmm.
want to go through with the divorce.
Hmm.
And being a lawyer, this is your responsibility. It's not
Hmm.
just to get them divorced. It's not to get them to have the khula delivered, but
Hmm.
it is to have their issue resolved.
Hmm.
It is your responsibility, being an advocate, being a lawyer, to resolve their matter. May it be through the execution of a divorce, or may it be to having them reconciled. So,
Hmm.
definitely, the first thing would be to focus on their interests.
Hmm.
Then, it is a problem solving approach. Again, as I've
Hmm.
said, it's not
Hmm.
confrontation,
Hmm.
it is a problem solving approach.
Hmm.
You want to have an approach that you want to resolve that issue. It's not
Hmm.
about money, let's say, for some. It's not about money. It's not about the fame. It's about solving that problem, right? And most importantly, you have to build the trust and the rapport of your client. How can you do that? You have to make your client feel comfortable with you. You have to make them aware of the process, what the procedure is. They can have a desired outcome. They have to sit together. If they don't want to sit together, why is that? Bring them to a position that they're comfortable in talking to you, and so that they can build trust in you, and you can have a rapport with your client.
And your
So that is
arguments will
how
make
I would
a,
approach it.
and your arguments will speak aloud with the client that our lawyer he is actually getting this case personally, and he or she is
Exactly.
argue with in front of before a judge very beautifully. It doesn't mean either you are gonna win this case or lose this case, but the point is that have you done your effort?
Exactly.
Yeah, this is the point. Okay, Malaika, one thing I want to ask you, how do you analyze for a person when you decide that he or she needs a ADR mediation?
Okay. This is a very important question, I think. ADR is definitely not suitable for all kinds of cases,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
I think for family disputes,
Hmm.
just the way that we have talked about divorce, khula,
Hmm.
and all these,
Hmm.
these are the bulk of cases that are pending, that are there in the courts.
Hmm.
Although the resolution percentage and the ratio of these cases in the courts is very fast paced as well.
Hmm.
But the problem is that these are so many in the courts
Hmm.
that the courts do not find the time to actually go through and look through the other cases like civil disputes of property nature, of all those kinds of things. That is why those kinds of cases take 30 to 40 years to resolve.
Hmm.
So for smaller cases like family disputes, like these kind of disputes that can be resolved
Hmm.
through sitting face to face, through a mediation, through an
Hmm.
ADR procedure, I would always advise people to go through a mediation proceeding.
Hmm.
Definitely. Another thing why I would say that is because for these family cases, if you're going through a khula, file
Hmm.
a separate case for maintenance, you will have to file a separate for custody. And that is just more and more cases. That is just more and more money. That is more and more
Hmm.
time. What happens in ADR is that you can have all these three things resolved in one proceeding, in
Hmm.
one mechanism. You can sit together, decide for custody, decide for the maintenance, decide for your khula or divorce or whatever. And that is how I come to the conclusion that, okay, what will be the best tailored approach for the resolution of a certain dispute?
Hmm.
In my perception, it's mostly family and civil disputes
Hmm.
that can be resolved by sitting together and just discussing them.
Hmm. Malaika, what percentage of cases are resolved through mediation or reconciliation?
Through mediation, this is a tricky question.
That's why I
As
ask you.
far as this is, yeah, as far as this is concerned, this is actually ADR is dependent on a lot of factors.
Hmm.
The first thing that the factor that is dependent is the good faith of parties. Now, what is
Hmm.
good faith of parties? If you and I are coming in a dispute, it is very important that you and we both are having mutual interests. We are both having faith. We're acting in good nature. We are confident and we want to resolve that dispute.
Hmm.
Until and unless we don't want to resolve that dispute,
Hmm.
mediation or ADR proceedings, they are not going to have any effect. So the
Hmm.
first and foremost is that the parties have to act in good faith. They both have to be willing to resolve the dispute, right? So
Hmm.
that is one way. And
Hmm.
once the parties agree to act in good faith and they're willing to resolve the dispute, I
Hmm.
don't think there is anything else that can stop the resolution of a problem through ADR. So I would say where there is an effective mediation where the parties are both willing, there is 100% dispute resolution ratio through ADR.
As a certified mediation advocate, what techniques do you use to effectively represent clients in mediation sessions?
Okay, so the techniques are definitely different for all kinds of cases.
Hmm.
The first thing is that we have discussed this earlier as well. If
Hmm.
I am going to represent a client in a mediation setting,
Hmm.
first thing I would do is to build the rapport with my client, to build
Hmm.
the confidence of my client.
Hmm.
If the client does not have confidence in me, I cannot do anything, right?
Hmm.
If I don't know what the client actually wants out of
Hmm.
that, I cannot give them what they want.
Hmm.
It's not like a litigation proceeding that you just go to a court and you tell them this is the dispute and the judge decides according to the law. It's
Hmm.
not that.
Hmm.
This is a mechanism which is party focused.
All
You can
right.
only get a resolution which a
Hmm.
party wants.
Hmm.
And until and unless being an advocate, you don't know what your party wants, you
Hmm.
cannot get the outcome. So this is a very important factor, a technique that you have to use to build the rapport, build the trust of your client, right? Another thing I would say is to set realistic approach, realistic expectations. I will
Hmm.
not tell them, let's say, if I am doing a commercial dispute or if I'm doing a family dispute, I wouldn't tell a person that you come to mediation and what I'll do is that I'll get you 10 lakh of hak meher. I can't do that,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? You can't do that. You have to tell them what the realistic expectation is going to be, what a realistic outcome can be,
That's why our
right?
courts are overburdened. Because one of my friend,
Exactly.
he also belongs to judiciary department and he is judge. So I know all the things, and these are the points. Actually, the courts are overburdened because they have no time to read a file word to word because they all already know that because they already know that what is good or what is bad, what is fake or what is original. So these are the things.
They don't have time. You can't even blame the judiciary for this. It's that there are
Yeah,
so many disputes.
yeah.
Our community is so frustrated
Mm,
that they just vote for anything. They
mm,
don't know there's another mechanism that is available. And once the
mm,
people actually, because the people are the users of that system, right?
mm,
If the
mm,
users know that this is another way that they can resolve their disputes, they may not go to the courts. And the
mm,
courts can actually have time to look at more serious matters.
mm,
So it's not even
mm,
the fault of the courts that they're not giving the resolution. They are so overburdened. The judicial workforce is so less. They don't have proper resources. And then, along with the burden of courts, what's happening is there is a delay in justice system, which
mm,
causes frustration in the
mm.
people. So
Ah,
this is another way that you can just make them aware that there are other mechanisms available to you that you can utilize to resolve your disputes. And don't burden the courts. Don't go to the court for everything. If you actually
yeah,
want a resolution,
yeah,
just
actually.
talk about it.
People
You
need
can
to
have
aware
another
of
mechanism.
this, what they are doing and what they are
Exactly.
demanding from the lawyer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Malaika, if you
Yes.
had a time, what would you like to do in your free time?
What I like to do. A lot of people ask me this question, and I almost never have any answer to this. I have been really occupied with educational activities, honestly, since
Mm,
my education and everything. I used to have hobbies, but I don't anymore. My hobbies involve conducting educational seminars, conducting educational activities all over Pakistan. So that is what I like to do in my free time.
and movies, traveling, food lover. Don't you do these kind of stuff if you
Yes,
get a time
I
for
haven't.
that?
I am into reading a little bit. That's something that I do.
Mm.
I used to be a soccer football player, but when I
Mm.
got into my legal, I had to give that up because I could not find time. So
Mm.
that's what happened.
Okay. Malaika, what motivated you to establish the We Ceremony Association in Pakistan? And what are the primary goals for that organizations?
Right. So the Viz Alumni Association is basically the Viz Alumni Network of Pakistan.
Mm.
This was established last year,
Mm.
and it was established under the auspices of the
Mm.
Commercial Law Development Program of the U.S. Department of Commerce.
Mm.
In my interview, I mentioned that I participated in a moot competition, right, when I
Mm.
found out about it.
Mm.
So this was the Willem C. Viz International Commercial Arbitration Moot.
Mm.
And when I participated in this, it is an ADR related moot competition.
Mm.
And all the alumni who have participated through Pakistan in this competition, I being one of the first students to represent Pakistan in this moot competition,
Oh,
we
great.
found that there is a need, yeah, we found that there is a need to bring together all the alumni from all over Pakistan and put them in one place. And then through that organization, we can conduct different programs that focus on ADR and the WISMU. So this was the motivation, along with the U.S. Department of Commerce's Commercial Law Development Program. We established the WIS Alumni Network. And the basic agenda of this organization, of this association, of this network is basically to impact ADR training on students, to have impactful trainings for students, for practitioners, to motivate a structured ADR approach in Pakistan. So this is how we were motivated to actually establish this in Pakistan.
Okay, thank you so much, Malaika, for joining us today. It was really wonderful having you here and learning from your experiences. But before I wrap up this interview, is there anything else you would like to share with our audience?
Yes. Thank you so much for this, and thank you so much for having me, Kamran. But one closing note I would just like to inform is that people need to be aware of their legal rights and responsibilities. One thing that in Pakistan, I think we need to see is that there are not just legal rights, there are also legal responsibilities. So you need to realize that you need to know what are your duties and what are your rights. And along with that, you have to be aware of your dispute resolution mechanisms. You should know where to go, how to go, when to go. There should be awareness programs, definitely, and people need to take the pain to make themselves aware of the legal system of Pakistan.
And they should know how to speak, when to speak, how to say no to the people.
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of things. They need to place their trust in the legal system for sure. But they have to take the initiative as well, I think.
A lovely piece of advice you have given to the people who is suffering from this and who are waiting to come to the court.
Don't come to the court. Go to the lawyer and tell them we want to go to ADR.
Yeah, okay. Malaika, any message or any suggestion for me?
I think you're doing great, and I think you should just keep doing what you're doing. This is an amazing platform that you're providing people who can speak their mind, who can utilize this platform to actually create awareness for a lot of people. I have seen a lot of your interviews that you have uploaded, and I was very impressed with your work. So I think you should just keep being you.
Inshallah. And I am going to invite you for second episode in coming months. And we will discuss with another topic with different questions, because when I reviewed your profile, so I came to know that you have a lot of skills and potential we can talk about in different topics, in different aspects of life. So I will definitely invite you, inshallah.
Would be more than honored to be here again. Thank you so much for having me, Kamran. It was really lovely speaking to you, and thank you so much for this great opportunity.
Thank you, Malaika. Once again, have a lovely day. Take care. Allah Hafiz. Goodbye.